Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Napoleon, and today we're back with another Enlisted video, and this time we're gonna do on why Japan suffers. So if you haven't realized by now, Japan is suffering, and as of right now, some people already have been saying that it is possible to win 20 games in a row as the Americans, and lose 20 games in a row as the Japanese, which I actually 100% believe. But now, why is this an issue, or to be exact, why is this even a problem, or why is this happening? And the reason is quite simple. There is a lot of issues with the Pacific. But that said, without further ado, this video has been made possible through the friends at Discord, meaning that if you haven't liked, subscribed, or joined the Discord, I highly suggest that you do. Well, let's get started to why Japan suffers. For the first reason, there are a lot of issues with the Pacific. Like I said in the intro, the Americans have a very good sniper rifle. Now, when I say good, I mean a sniper rifle with a good scope. Obviously, the Japanese rifle in terms of shooting and rate of fire is way better than the Americans, but the Americans have a way better scope, and for a sniper rifle that has a better scope, yeah, that really defines a sniper rifle. It is not how many rounds you can come out, it is definitely 100% the scope. For if you don't even have the scope, what is the point of a sniper rifle? And in terms of regular rifles, the Springfields have a way better tendency and literally shot than the Arasaka rifles for some reason. For me, for the Springfields, they just make a lot better sights. I do not know why I'm suffering so badly with the Arasaka rifles. I just don't know. Maybe it's my deal with the sights, but I personally do not like the sights. As a matter of fact, I hate the sights of the Arasaka rifle. I love the sights of the Springfield, even the M1907 Springfield, which a lot of people say it's quite bad, but compared for me to the Arasaka is terrible. That is why I like the American Springfields. But that is a personal preference, I will leave that to you. The next things that the American have is a good semi-automatic rifle. The M1 Garand and the Johnson, semi-automatic rifles are way better than the Type Hiei and the Type Otsu. Just in terms of rounds, the Japanese get 5 for both rifles. They get Type Hiei and the Otsu rifles, while the Americans get 8 rounds for the M1 Garand and the 10 rounds for the Johnson. So that's going to be quite interesting. So in both categories, sniper rifles, regular rifles, and now even semi-automatic rifles, the Americans have the dominant hand. Next we have the SMGs, and this in no way, shape, or form does not lead to the Americans. For one, the Americans get the M1 Thompson, which is going to be very good compared to the Type 2A. Obviously the Type 2A isn't that bad, but it's quite bad. The other semi-automatic rifles, the other submachine guns are also going to be quite bad, considering the fact that the Americans get the Owens submachine gun, while the Japanese get the MP28 7.65. Obviously, the Owens wins in rate of fire, and rate of fire is really what you need. The M50 Rising is way better in the early game compared to essentially the S100, and essentially every other Japanese SMG sucks, even the Type 100 early version semi-SMG. But that said, even the American shotgun is terrifying. The Browning Auto 5, that is extremely terrifying. So the Japanese are really at a disadvantage in terms of assaulters, and assaulters is what you use to push the team. But that said, let's move on to LMGs, and there is in no doubt, way, shape, or form that the Americans are going to lose. For one, the Americans have the Browning. Like I said before the campaign was even released, the Browning is going to be a main threat. As a matter of fact, right now, people are just spamming the Browning, and it's getting them a lot of kills. The Japanese Type 11 LMG is a joke, uses a 6.65 and is really bad. The Japanese Type 96 light machine gun is even worse, considering the fact that it uses a scope, and the Japanese Type 99 machine gun is quite interesting, but compared to the Johnston LMG, that thing is a joke. Obviously, you can instantly argue that the Johnston has only 20 rounds, and the Type 99 has 30, which, let's be honest, it evens it out. But for me, the big problem is the sights, and yeah, you can instantly argue that the Johnson and the BAR has better sights. After that, we have the Americans get good tanks and planes, which, let's be honest, the MGMC really downs the Japanese starting tank, which is a joke. The American tanks after that, the Stuarts, and everything after that is going to be very deadly, considering the fact that the Japanese machine guns are a joke, the American machine guns are a threat. And so that's going to be a big issue. Plane-wise, they're quite even. The American F4 Wildcat, or FW Wildcat, is quite interesting. so that's going to be quite good. But in terms of bomb load, the Americans win for whatever reason. The Japanese are get 16 pounding bombs. Even the airstrikes, the Americans win. 600-pound bombs versus 1,000-pound bombs. Go figure that out. Or 60-pound bombs versus 1,000-pound bombs. So that is going to be an issue. After that, we have the Japanese have good anti-tank guns, which, let's be honest, that is the only redeeming factor of the entire Pacific campaign. After that, all you have to do for the Americans, essentially, at this point, is build rallies, and you should win the game. The only game in which I've lost for the Americans is in which the Americans did not build a rally, and we lost by running to our deaths. That is literally the only way that you can lose as the Americans. But that said, even the player count is against the Japanese, considering the fact that everyone is now playing American, so that's going to be quite interesting. Now, at this point is, what can we do to even out the balance? And for the spoiler alert, if you haven't watched my how to balance a game, or why Enlisted is not balancing in the game, then you should have probably realized Enlisted is not going to change anything to the game. Literally nothing that you see here is going to be changed, except for some of the stats, and that I even doubt is not going to happen. For one, all that means that all we have to do is to add new levels, and for the new levels, I hope the Japanese get a lot of good stuff, such as the Key 43 or subsequent better fighters that are going to be even to the Americans. Please do not be giving us 500-pound bomb loads while the Americans get 1,000-pound bombs. That is not going to make sense. And please, for the love of God, give us better semi-auto rifles. The Type PA rifle has a 20-round magazine that you can put on the Japanese rifles, and I think that is very, very, very good. As a matter of fact, another good thing is give us better semi-automatic rifles, better sniper rifles for the Japanese, and yes, the Japanese do have a 7.65 scope, or a 10x scope, or a 12x scope. Honestly, please, do something. Better tanks, please give the Japanese better tanks. At this point, like, just get the Chi-Ha, the Chi-Nu, stuff like that. Honestly, like, seriously, historical accuracy is out of the window, so just do that. And for the love of God, please give the Japanese better weapons. Like, honestly, what has been going on is that the Japanese are getting a weapon that they really do need, the Type PA, with the 10-round extended magazine, because, let's be honest, that thing is a must, and Enlisted is treating it like a gold order weapon. So please, Enlisted, even out the campaigns, make everything normal, give the Japanese better equipment. The Americans are good at what they are, but like, please give the Japanese better equipment for the next remaining levels, and that is how you make a good campaign. But that said, this is all it for what we can do for making an Enlisted a better place, what we can do to make the Pacific less Allies biased. And that said, that is all it for this video, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one. Now, before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.